Hello guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new, my name is Amari Kalia. If you are a returner, thank you so much for following my channel, following my journey, and growing with me. So if you are new to my channel, I post self-development content. I love to talk about being a leader of yourself, being a leader of your life, and there's only one way to get there, and that is through intentional growth. I'm someone who has been very intentional about inner work, self-development since like 2018, 2019 when I went to college. And I'm so excited for today's topic because I realized recently that when I started my self-development journey, I was also learning how to preserve myself. Today we're talking about self-preservation. We're going to be talking about that the whole month of June in different ways. Today's video, I'm just going to really go over how self-preservation changed my life, what self-preservation is, and how I realized recently that is what I have been doing. So if this is the type of content you want to see every single week, subscribe to my channel, go ahead and like this video and comment on it. Comment at the end because I got a little task for y'all at the end. But we're just gonna get right into it. Of course, I got my notes because I gotta stay on point because I will yap y'all to death. So self-preservation is what we're going to talk about, but before I get into that, I want to give y'all a little bit of background on myself if you are new to my channel. So when I was younger, I remember always telling myself, like, I'm going to change the world. I want to change and help as many people as I can. I want to change everybody. I want to help people. Like when I was in high school, I knew that whatever I did for my career, however I was going to serve people, I knew that it was going to be in the people business. I feel like one way or another, everything is about people. You're getting people to buy something. You're helping people in some way. But I wanted to make sure that whatever my title was, whatever it was I was doing, it was 100% correlated with teaching, developing, and helping or serving people in some capacity. Also, along with that, I am the eldest daughter. I am the oldest sibling of 8, including 2 stepsisters. So I have a lot of siblings. I have a lot of experience with, helping my parents with my siblings, especially with my mom. I helped change diapers, helped make food. I cooked a lot. I babysat a lot when I was a kid. Like I was like a second mom. And so even to this day, like I am still kind of that figure, but I've had to learn how to not be a people pleaser, which is what this is kind of about. But just to give y'all some background, I've always just kind of been in a position where I'm helping people to some capacity, and I've always wanted to help people. But what I learned is that you cannot save everybody. You cannot change the world. You can change some people, but I had to change my mindset in thinking that I could literally change the entire world. Like I talk to one person, every person I talk to, I can change them. And I learned this in college because not everybody want to be changed. I also learned this when it came to my parents. Like some people are really stuck in their ways, and a lot of people have to change on their own time when they're ready to change, or maybe they don't change at all, but it's for you to learn how to deal with that. And so with me learning all of this, I had to learn a lot about people pleasing, setting boundaries, saying no, like all of those things. And so recently I realized, like, wait, like that is what self-preservation is. And so with that context, I'm going to give you guys a couple definitions of what self-preservation actually means. If I could just say it without reading what this says, I will say that self-preservation is literally taking care of yourself. It's literally putting yourself first. It's preventing yourself from harm, preventing yourself from unsafe situations. That's what it is at its core. But there's like a physical side to it, and then there's a mental side to it. So when you look up what self-preservation is, it says that self-preservation is the innate biological and physiological instinct to protect oneself from harm, injury, or destruction. So it's kind of like your fight or flight system, wearing a seatbelt to prevent yourself from getting injured in a car accident. Things like that like when you're self-preserving, you're doing things to prevent danger from happening. And so there's another side to it, which is what I'm going to talk about. In daily life, self-preservation involves protecting your peace, energy, and psychological boundaries. It means choosing not to sacrifice your well-being in the name of pleasing others. You heard what I said? in the name of pleasing others. If you guys go watch my videos within the past like 6 months to a year, I talked a lot about people pleasing because that was one of the number one things that I had to heal from. Like I said, being the oldest sibling and being someone who wants to help people and wanted to be validated, I was a huge people pleaser. And it's so funny because I looked at it like when I was in college, I wasn't trying to please like my friends or people that were around me. I was more so just a people pleaser with my family. Like, I could never say no. I had a family member in college who would literally always ask me for money, never paid it back, never asked me if I even had the money, just assumed I had the money. Not like understanding the fact that I was working 3 to 4 jobs to just pay my basic college bills and take care of myself. Like, I was broke and still handing out money. I will also like always show up for people who never showed up for me. And I'm talking about family members when I talk about this. And so that journey alone is what helped me to realize that I was a people pleaser. And so, like I said, when you are preserving yourself, you are choosing not to sacrifice your well-being in the name of pleasing other people. So just think about self-preservation as not being a people pleaser, having boundaries, and just really protecting yourself from negative energy, from toxic energy, from certain people, certain environments. That is what self-preservation is. There is a difference between self-preservation and selfishness. When you're selfish, you don't have empathy for other people. You are always putting your needs before other people. You only deal with people when they can benefit you. I had people in my life. I have people like that in my life. I have a sibling right now who is the most selfish person on the planet. I have a family member who is the most selfish person on the planet. And they know it. They will own it. Yes, I'm selfish. They might not say they don't care about other people, but their actions will show it. They'll always be late to other people's stuff. They won't show up to people's stuff. Like, they'll just show it in their actions because we all know that actions speak louder than words. So there is a difference between being selfish and being and having self-preservation. And that's something that I kind of battle with because I never wanted to be seen as a selfish person. So I never would say no because I didn't want them to think that I was being selfish. But to some degree, you do have to be selfish with yourself, selfish with your peace, with your energy, because people will really suck the energy out of you. They will try to suck the entire life out of you. People can be vampires. And it doesn't have to be money. It could be the fact that they're always trauma dumping on you. They are not considering your own like lifestyle, like asking you, how are you doing? How's your job going? How's your relationship going? How are you mentally? Like, they're always willing to like tell you all about them, talk about their problems, but they're never asking you how you are. Those are vampires. And so I realized that some of these people in my life were vampires. And if I wanted to preserve myself, I had to create boundaries and tell people no. And so, like, even when it comes to money, like, I have a family member, not the one I was talking about in college, but right now, I have a parent who is not stable, and they are still figuring out their life, which is, it is what it is. But I had to learn how to say no, because I would say yes and I don't get things in return. Sometimes I barely would get a thank you. And I also don't see this person really making huge progress in their life. It's like the same cycle over and over again. So it makes me feel like I'm enabling. So I have to learn how to say no, and I pick and choose when I want to do things instead of doing things at the sacrifice of my own well-being. Pulling from my savings account to give to someone who isn't putting in the work or the effort to make changes in their lives. So know that there is a difference between being selfish and self-preservation. So there were a couple of things that made me realize that I was burning out and I needed to stop people pleasing. One, I realized I was consistently showing up for people that were not showing up for me. Every year on my birthday, I had a couple of family members who never showed up for my stuff, but they made sure they go to other people's stuff. And low-key, that's still the vibe today. I would say yes to things knowing I really wanted to say no, but me being a people pleaser, I would still say yes. I was overworking myself. Like I said, my whole life I've worked a lot. Even when I was a business owner as a personal trainer, I would say yes to all opportunities. One, because I was chasing the bag and I wanted to have all these experiences. But at the same time, I never wanted to say no because I was people pleasing and I wanted to be seen as that person who was dependable, who, that could count on, things of that nature. So that also made me realize, like, you're people pleasing. I also realized that I wasn't having time to do the things that I truly wanted to do, whether it's filming a YouTube video, whether it was doing some things around the house, maybe it was taking myself on a solo date. Like today, like I have plans to meet someone to give her something, and I was contemplating recording this video. Like, should I do it later? Should I put it off for tomorrow? But it's like, no, girl, like this is something you really want to do, so you need to do it. And then also just worrying about things that are out of my control. This is more so with my family, with one of my parents, like just always like worried about, are they doing well? Do they need help? I got some extra money. Should I send it? When most of the time, all the time for the most part, we worry about things that we have no control over. And that's another thing that let me realize that I was people pleasing and I was trying to control things that I have no control over. So it's important that you see the signs, that you become aware of it. You take time to really think about what you are pouring into and what you aren't pouring into, and think about those distractions that come up. Not sure how my camera died that fast, but it did. Anyways, I was saying, like, it's important to pay attention to the distractions in your life. Pay attention to the people who consistently hit you up, consistently keep you off from doing what it is you want to do or need to be doing in your life. And that can kind of give you an idea of people that you need to set some boundaries with, say no more to, or maybe just ignore to a certain degree. So learning and realizing all of this, it was important for me to set boundaries and to protect myself. So I want to go over why protecting your peace is very necessary and why it was necessary for me during this time. So like I said, I realized that I was not having time to do the things that I really wanted to do, which was basically my YouTube channel. Anytime I'm not at work, all of my time and effort should be going into building my channel and building my brand. And this has been years in the making. You guys, if you've been following my journey, I've had months where I was consistent and months where I wasn't consistent. When I'm not consistent, it's usually because of my job, because I'm overworking, I'm giving them too much of my energy. So that was one of the things that made me realize, like, it's important that I protect my energy and I protect what it is I want to do by saying no and having boundaries. I realized that family will use you. Like with these certain family members, I'm like, dang, like if your own family will do it, people on the outside will do it. And I am experiencing that at work right now. And I'm having to really stand strong on my boundaries and even create stronger boundaries because I'm seeing it right now in my job. And so I realized, like, okay, if my family will do it, people on the street will do it, which means that you have to become aware and build your discernment so that you will know when people are wanting to use you in order to preserve yourself. And then another thing is, like, I realized that I was afraid of letting people down, and it's not my job for me to create like this certain image of me for other people. It's not about that. Yes, you want to be a dependable person. You want people to like you, I guess. You want to be respected and you want to be loved. But at the same time, it's not your job to control how people view you. So I think for me, like, for me to protect my peace, I had to realize, like, I'm sometimes going to let people down when I say no. Like, I'm not going to be that yes man. I'm not going to be that person who's always saying yes and giving at the expense of my own self and my own energy and peace. So I realized, like, it's important to protect my peace. Like, it was necessary because I was scared to let people down when people didn't care about letting me down. So I had to say, hold on, some changes got to be made. And then lastly, like, I really wanted to work on my confidence during this time. So it was important for me to, like I said, just have these boundaries and show people how to treat me. Like, I wanted people to know, like, no, I'm not going to say yes to you every time. No, I'm not that person that you can call all the time for money. No, I'm not the person that you can trauma dump on. And so me wanting, I guess, that to be my relationship with people, I wanted people to respect my time, to respect my goals, and respect my personal space, my personal time. I had to set these boundaries and preserve myself. And so all of these things helped me to build my confidence overall, and also just be secure within myself and just be able to be in solitude. So when you have boundaries and you say no and you stop giving so much to people, you will in turn be that person who is self-preserving, and you will be able to reach your goals, do the great things you want to do in life, have meaningful relationships. And so self-preservation, like I said, is not about being selfish. You do have to be selfish to a degree, but I don't even want to use the word selfish because I think it has a negative connotation. It's more so just about having a strong mind and strong systems that allow you to, one, be at peace, one, protect your energy, and also be able to make time for the things that you really need to make time for. So self-preservation is about keeping yourself safe. And when we talk about safety, it doesn't just have to be physical. It can be mental. You don't want to deal with people who are toxic. You got to know when people are toxic, when they're trying to manipulate, when they're being narcissists, because that is not safe for you. It's not good for your nervous system. It's not good for your mental clarity. So you got to be aware of those things and those peoples and those signs and those distractions so that you can ignore them. You can stay away from them, subtract yourself from the situation so that you can be the best version of you and you can have a peaceful mind and a peaceful spirit. So safety is not just physical. Self-preservation is in our natural instinct. We have a natural instinct to protect ourselves. When we feel something that's too hot, we hurry up and move our hand from it because we don't want to burn ourselves. When we trip, we catch ourselves real quick so that we don't fall. So we have that instinct physically. We just need to develop that more mentally. When y'all talk about red flags and y'all be ignoring them, that's not practicing self-preservation. You ain't taking care of yourself. You are not preventing yourself from harm's way. I know you guys are saying a lot about spouses, unaliving other spouses, or, all this craziness that's been going on now in relationships. A lot of the times, I hate to say it, is because people are ignoring the signs and ignoring the red flags. That is why self-preservation is so important. You have to protect yourself. You have to protect your peace and your sanity, because you can't help other people if you aren't strong and secure in yourself. And that is just the truth. I'm able to show up at work being my best self because I protect my energy. I protect my energy at home, and I bring that with me when I'm at work. I'm going to give y'all a quick example of self-preservation. I really wanted to give this in another video, and I may mention it in another video in this series, but I'm just give y'all another example that isn't anything that I've talked about. Freshman year of college, I had this roommate who I didn't know. It was a random assignment, but we ended up being from the same city, and we had mutuals. My best friend and one of her family members were close, so we ended up having mutuals. It was cool. Freshman year was crazy. It was hot and cold. One minute we was good, one minute we wasn't good. And it was like that for a long time. Like, we had deep talks and, we would have a good time, but then when we were not good, we were not good. And I'm not saying that I was perfect, but I would say that I was dealing with somebody who just wasn't mentally stable in her own way. Like, she had her own situation going on that boiled into our relationship. She had a way of handling things where I didn't handle things the same way. Not to say how I handled it was better. I'm more somebody who, I ignore, or I just kind of distance myself, versus being that person that's ready to argue and ready to fight. Like, I'm not that person. So that was freshman year. Freshman year, we ended on a good tip. So I was like, okay, let's be roommates next year, because I didn't want to live with strangers and we wanted to live in the same dorm. So this is sophomore year. This was maybe the first week of us being in a dorm. I don't even think we made it to a week. A couple days go in, and she got so upset about something that was so insane. Like, it was insane. And she was being disrespectful, because we had this thing where, like, if our partners came in town, we would tell each other so that we can make arrangements. Well, I remember leaving my dorm and coming back, and her boyfriend was there. I said, oh no ma'am, I'm not doing this. That next day, I went straight to the housing office, can't remember what it's called, and put in for my room. Baby, I packed up and left the next day and got me a new room. Thankfully, it was beginning of the semester, so they had one ready for me. I had to go. I was like, no ma'am, I'm not dealing with this chaos for another year. I can't deal with the flip-flopping. Listen, I'm already a woman myself. I don't have time to be dealing with somebody else's mood swings. Somebody else's just like way of handling situations. Like, I'm just not that type of person to do something like that. And I prefer not to be around people who do things like that. Like, to have him come there without talking to me about it and him just being there when I came home, I'm like, oh no ma'am, I see what you're doing. I see what you want. I see your character. I can't deal with this. So I packed my stuff up. I packed all my stuff by myself, completely by myself. Luckily, I hadn't settled too much in, but packed everything up and left before she can even see that I left. And I never talked to her again because I was just like, okay, this is too chaotic for me. But that was me practicing self-preservation. I had to get myself out of a toxic situation so that I can continue my college experience with memories, with getting good grades, doing the things that I wanted to do. I was not about to stress myself out another year dealing with somebody that I didn't have to deal with. I had control over that situation, and I took control of it immediately. So this is what I mean when I say self-preservation. It's not about the physical. It's not just about the physical. Those are more natural. It's just about seeing the signs early enough and being able to make a decision that better suits you and your health, your mental health, your physical health, and just your overall peace and your energy. So I'm going to end it here because, like I said, this is going to be the series for June. This is where we're going to talk about the whole month of June. I hope you guys can take a little bit of this as you start your month and kind of marinate on it. That's my task for you. Listen to this video. Go watch some of my old videos. Comment a situation where you realize that you were practicing self-preservation. No matter how big or small, everything is self-preservation for the most part. When you decline a call because you know this person don't want nothing but drama. When you say no to picking up that shift at work. Whatever it is, comment below because it's something that we all need to practice so that we can be a leader of our lives and actually reach the goals and be the best version of ourselves. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will definitely see you guys soon because, like I said, this is what we're talking about the whole month of June. Thank you for watching. I will see y'all in the next video.